You ever wake up and feel like you're already behind? Not just on your schedule, but behind on your life? Let me tell you something you might need to hear today. You're not lazy, you're just disconnected. Disconnected from what matters, from your center, from who you were before the world told you to speed up. But what if your mornings weren't about catching up, but about coming back? What if your mornings were about healing? As Rumi said, what you seek is seeking you, but only if you wake up to meet it. Today, I want to help you do just that. Here are my top 5 morning routines that have truly helped me become a better person. Let's start off with the soul audit. Most of us wake up and reach for distraction. But what if you started your day by reaching inward instead? I want to invite you to try something different this morning. Not a productivity hack, not another affirmation. Something deeper, something ancient, something true. It's called a soul audit, and it comes from one of the wisest men who ever lived, Marcus Aurelius. He ruled an empire, yet began each morning by confronting his own soul. And if you're feeling lazy, stuck, behind in life, this might be the most powerful 2 questions you've ever asked yourself. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding within me? If today were my last, what would really matter? This is not meditation. It's not even reflection in the usual sense. It's a confrontation between you and what you've been avoiding. The Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, believed that each day should begin with a return to truth, not to fear, to what's real, not what's urgent. For example, maybe you're a mother, already exhausted before the day begins. You see picture-perfect lives on your screen and feel like you're failing just for being tired. But before that guilt floods in, just ask, what am I avoiding within me? Maybe it's the quiet grief of missing who you used to be. The version of you before the mess, before the stretch marks, before the pressure to do it all. And then ask, if this were my last morning, what would truly matter? Would it be the dishes in the sink, or the giggle that escapes when you kiss your baby's feet? That's your answer. You just passed the soul audit. Or maybe you have lost your footing, your job, your direction, your belief in yourself. Each sunrise feels like failure knocking before you've even moved. But stop, just for a moment. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding? Is it the quiet fear that your best years are behind you? That maybe you've run out of chances? Now ask, if this were my last morning, what would matter? Would it be proving yourself or showing up one more time for the people who still believe in you, even if you don't believe in yourself yet? That right there is the beginning of return. Or maybe you're older now. The house is quiet, too quiet, and somewhere along the line, you started to feel invisible. Ask, what am I avoiding? Maybe it's the ache of being forgotten, the weight of dreams that never got their turn. Then ask, if today were my last, what would matter? Would it be what the world sees? Or would it be writing that poem? Calling someone you love? Sitting in the morning light, knowing you still belong to this world? That's not a small moment. That's soul reclaiming its place. Now this is your real morning routine. Not coffee, not checklists, but truth. Before the world tells you who to be, ask your soul what it already knows. Because what you're looking for isn't out there. It's in here. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. The second morning routine is the letter from tomorrow. There's someone who knows exactly what you need today. Someone who sees the bigger picture. Someone who already lived your day and came back to write you a letter. That someone is you, the you from tomorrow. So, what is the letter from tomorrow? This ritual is borrowed from one of the most disciplined minds in history, Benjamin Franklin. He tracked his own progress daily, checking in with his virtues, building accountability. Not to others, but to himself. Now we do the same. except with a twist. Instead of tracking yesterday, we borrow wisdom from the version of us who has already made it through today. And we let them guide us. How do you do it? You need to write a short letter from your tomorrow self. Begin with these words. Hey, we did it. I'm proud of you for... Let your future self speak to you, not like a coach barking orders, but like a quiet friend who's been where you are and didn't give up. You don't need to write a perfect letter, just an honest one. And if you're not sure what to say, let's walk through it together. Here's how it might sound. Maybe you're starting over, again. Maybe you're staring at responsibilities stacked higher than your energy, but this time, instead of numbing out, you write, Hey, we didn't fix everything today, but we faced it. We made the phone call we've been dreading. We chose one small task instead of hiding, and I'm proud of you for that. That's it, a quiet win. A letter that rewrites the narrative. You've broken promises to yourself before, skipped routines, gave up on day one. Again. But not today. Because today, you write, Hey, you didn't scroll the morning away, you moved your body for 10 minutes, you made one decision that honored the life you want, you showed up, and that's all I asked. It's not grand, but it's real. And sometimes, real is everything. Maybe your days are quieter now, but a quiet day doesn't mean you've disappeared. You write, Hey, we lit a candle today. We played the song that always makes us feel something. We picked up the phone and just connected. You're still here, and you still matter. That one paragraph becomes your proof. Proof that the soul doesn't age, it deepens. You don't need motivation. You need a voice from your future self, reminding you that today has meaning, even if no one else sees it. This letter isn't a task, it's a gift. From the you that already survived the day, to the you who's just beginning it. Next we have the sacred slow. There's a kind of peace that doesn't come from staying still. It comes from moving slowly. This is your walk, not to burn calories, not to hit a goal, not to impress anyone, but to remember what it feels like, to belong to the world again. You walk as slowly as you dare, not because you're weak, but because you're awake. You notice things that fast people miss, the pattern of a leaf, the smell of the dirt, the way sunlight moves through branches. You're not here to escape your thoughts, you're here to meet them gently. Most people are sprinting through life, trying to outrun their souls. But you've slowed down long enough to hear your own breath, to hear what your heart has been trying to say. You don't walk to fix yourself, you walk to feel yourself. And as you move slowly, old feelings rise. That memory you haven't thought about in years. The thing you regret but never processed. The dream you buried because you were too tired to hope. They all come with you, and that's okay. Because this walk isn't a performance, it's a reunion. You start to realize slowness is not weakness, it's wisdom. The world may rush you, but your soul walks barefoot, and barefoot souls are never in a hurry. You begin to understand what Thoreau meant, that all good things are wild and free, and you are both. Why this walk matters. This isn't a workout. This is a return to stillness, to nature, to the parts of you that only wake up when the world slows down. The sacred slow walk doesn't make you more productive. It makes you more present. And presence, my friend, that's where the real power lives. The fourth one is the mirror of integrity, inspired by Socrates. The unexamined life is not worth living. Every morning, we look in the mirror. But most of the time, we don't actually see ourselves. We glance, we adjust, we critique, and we move on without ever asking the one question that could change everything. That question is simple and uncomfortable. Am I living honestly, or am I lying to myself? This is not about how you look. This is about how you live. And for just 2 minutes, you let everything else fall away. The expectations, the roles, the pretending, until all that's left is you and your truth. Now say it out loud. May I not lie to myself today. Not, may I be perfect. Not, may I impress everyone. Just one thing. That today you'll live with integrity, even if no one else sees it. Even if it costs you comfort. Especially then. You don't need to be everything to everyone today. You just need to be real. And the mirror? It doesn't care about your resume. It doesn't care how productive you are. It only reflects what you choose to face or avoid. You close your laptop instead of doom scrolling. You say no to something that drains your energy. You tell someone the truth, gently but clearly. You admit when you need help. These moments don't go viral. They won't earn you applause, but they build something stronger than reputation, self-respect. And when you look in the mirror tomorrow, you'll meet someone you trust. The mirror of integrity is not about guilt. It's about alignment. It reminds you that your real power comes not from what others believe about you, but from what you believe about yourself. So tomorrow morning, before the world pulls at you, stand still, look deep, and say it again. May I not lie to myself today. Let that be the start, because truth is always the beginning of freedom. Next we have one candle, one quote. In a world full of noise, what if your first light of the day wasn't from your phone, but from a single flame? No alerts, no scrolling, just a candle? And one line of truth from someone who lived hundreds, maybe thousands of years before you. This is the ritual of one candle, one quote. And it's more powerful than it sounds. The flame isn't just light, it's a reminder. This morning is sacred. You sit down. Open a small notebook or card deck of ancient quotes, something timeless. Today's line reads, "When it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps." You pause, you breathe, you let it sink into your bones. Some mornings, the quote will challenge you. Other times, it will comfort you. But every time, it reveals something you didn't want to admit. You don't analyze the quote like homework. You respond to it like a whisper from your soul. You write what it stirs in you, why it matters, where it hits, what you've been avoiding. Sometimes it brings clarity, other times emotion, but always truth. After a week, you notice something. You're not just collecting wisdom, you're becoming someone who seeks it. The same quote you once ignored? It now meets you differently, because you're different. Your soul has started listening. This world rushes you, but the candle does not. The quote doesn't care about your schedule. It only asks, are you willing to begin today with meaning instead of momentum? You don't need a new identity. You need a new question. One candle. One quote. One morning that belongs entirely to you. In the next video, I'll share something deeply personal, how working on my mental awareness changed not just how I feel, but how I live. It helped me improve my financial situation in less than 3 months, without hustle, without shame, just by seeing my thoughts differently. If that sounds like something you need, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. And if this video gave you even one moment of peace, clarity, or truth, please tap like and share it with someone who needs a gentle restart. You're not too late, you're just on your way. I'll see you in the next one.